I concede Barbara wins today again. Yeah, it's getting to be a habit, to be very, very honest with you. The weatherman said 21, I said 22, she said 23, and of course 24 degrees makes her officially the winner. Yay. It is Thursday, March the 11th, and you know something, guys, I'm really, really elated. I really am, because Gregory Childs is joining us from the band Heartlung. Love, love, love that name. But first of all, let's do this.
Galaxy 107fm.
That's right, you're right, here at Galaxy 107fm, and I'm joined today by Gregory Childs and the band Heartlung. Absolutely loving this, and believe me, I'm finding it very, very difficult these mornings in the breakfast show to get through a breakfast show without playing a Gregory Childs track, which is, I think, is absolutely fantastic. Now, for you guys that are joining us live right now on Facebook Live, I've got to welcome you guys along. Thank you so much for joining us again. Of course, earlier on this morning, we were talking to Dwayne Watson coming out of British Columbia. Right now, we're heading all the way over to Toronto. Yes, to catch up with the Heartlung band themselves, and Gregory Childs is joining us live. But first of all, here is Baby Blue. So I hope you got a stiff drink there, my friend.
I do, great.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
You know, it's...
unfortunately, I've got coffee.
Oh, that's good too. You know, you got to do what you can. You got to do what you can. Over here, and you know, it's 5 o'clock. Time to put the feet up and just chill with you guys for a bit. So
Absolutely, and I got to welcome you, my friend. Thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to us here in New Zealand.
yeah, no, it's great to talk to you guys. It's great to talk to you guys.
I absolutely flipped when I heard your music for the first time. Barbara says to me, "You've got to listen to these
Blood
guys."
ties, yes.
And I loved, because unfortunately, you see, Blood Ties was the first song I heard of yours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But having said that, Barbara usually gives me a little Bluetoothy device that I play in my car, so that I decide whether I'm going to do an interview or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're currently still playing full time in my car, I've got to be honest with you.
That's cool to hear. That's cool to hear.
Got you on high rotate, I really, really have. But I love the style of your music, so I'm going to ask you a bit about where you came up with the style of this and everything like that.
Sure.
I noted the places that you were playing, and of course this COVID thing is a pain in the proverbial at the same time, so we'll have a little chat about that as well. But I don't think it's going to last forever. What do you think?
You know, I was talking to a friend last night who was telling me in a smaller town called Brantford in Ontario that there's a band starting to play again. They're allowed gatherings of about 100 people or so now.
Sure.
In Toronto, we're pretty far back. Like, we just came out of lockdown 2 days ago,
Okay.
and now we're in what we call like a gray zone here, which basically means you still can't hang out with anybody for the most part. Like, it's pretty kind of held back, so you can go out shopping, but it's in a really limited capacity, and they're not encouraging you to, you know, to go anywhere essentially. So
I understand, believe me. It's been a little up and down, especially for the biggest city that we have here in New Zealand called Auckland. We're kind of calling it Plague City. Anyway, let's go to the desk and have some fun.
yeah.
You know, it's really starting to heat up here. Now, Barbara said 23 degrees today. It's suddenly gone up to 26.4 degrees. In here in the office for you people over in America, 88.3 degrees Fahrenheit. It's hot. It really is. And unfortunately, we're going to have to adopt the Kiwi air conditioning kind of deal. Open the window. Okay. Unfortunately, that's the best air conditioning we can afford right now. Now, I'm joined today, coming out of Toronto, and I'm absolutely elated about this because when I very first heard of Gregory Childs and Heartlung, I was absolutely roped in right from the start, had to be a part of it, and well, today, going to Toronto and catching up with Gregory Childs, the man himself. Good morning, good evening over there in Toronto. Nice to have you with us, Gregory.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here with you guys. Thanks for having me on.
You know, I am not telling you a lie. As soon as I heard, and believe me, I heard Blood Ties first, I was absolutely fascinated with your work. I really loved the style. I loved everything about it. Now, we kicked off the show with Baby Blue. Where did you get this recorded?
So we actually, I used to live in a town called Kitchener, which is, close to Toronto. And a lot of good memories there, a lot of growing experiences there. And my drummer, Zachary Maloki, basically just said, I know a guy that's got a studio set up in his attic. Do you want to go try to put some of these songs down there? And we just went down for the weekend and hung out with Steve Aylward, who runs a little recording house there called Frederick House Audio. And it's just like a nonchalant little attic studio with a little fireplace in it and just a bunch of blankets hanging. But he's just really great to work with, and we just kind of just put it down.
You know,
so it just felt really good.
I've been an engineer now for about almost 40 years, and believe me, I've not only worked front of house, but I've worked recording studios as well. From that many years, I hate to be able to say it, but when I listen to music, and I don't listen to it as a fan would. I listen to it as an engineer, I listen to it as a DJ, as a salesperson, you know what I mean? And instantly I was grabbed by Gregory Childs and Heartlung. I really, really was. Then, a little later on, Barbara showed me the video of Blood Ties. Absolutely loved it, especially the kidnapping and whatever of all your band members is going down. Loved that idea, I really, really did. And was fascinated to find out it was only one take. Now, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that very, very shortly, but I have a fan question for you, Greg. How does a fan get hold of you? Are you on Facebook? Are you on Twitter? Are you on Instagram? But more importantly, do you respond?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, most of our handles are just GregoryChilds.Heartlung. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. We just started our YouTube channel when we put out our debut video there with Blood Ties, and we totally respond. I mean, when Barbara reached out to us saying that you guys were playing our stuff, I think we very quickly got back and heard our stuff on your show, and we were just pretty surprised that across the pond there you guys picked us up and were playing us. So that was kind of cool, and yeah, it was. So we definitely, if anybody wants to book us or reach out or wants to grab a vinyl or anything, we're definitely available.
Yeah, and I want to talk to you about the vinyl reference very, very shortly as well, because I'm fascinated with that. Of course, being in the game for many, many years, vinyl is something that I'm very, very near and dear to my heart. I absolutely love vinyl. So I'm going to talk to you about that very, very shortly. But Baby Blue. Now, Baby Blue, tell me a little bit about the lyrics of this. This is the song that we opened up the show with. How did you come to this?
Yeah, a lot of my music and the music I write with Heartlung, it's pretty personal stuff. Basically, just going through some intense relationship issues, and basically just spending a lot of time kind of wandering around Toronto by myself. And what basically ended up happening was when I started playing with Heartlung, those guys gave me a room and a place to really start letting some of these songs have some life. And it became extremely important to me. So just part of that song is just about, having our own church to go play our own music. We created our own kind of ceremony of just being able to focus on what we wanted to write and play. So that song just kind of the struggles of dealing with a loss and rebuilding that with music, sort of. So
Now, I got to ask you, Greg, how did you come to the name Heartlung? Because I love this name.
yeah, it's actually for us. It's pretty simple. It's just kind of it's Gregory Childs, which is kind of my name, and then we go with Heartlung because the band are like, to me, the two most important organs you have are your heart and your lungs. They just keep all the air flowing in and the blood pumping. So they're putting all the life into the lyrics, into the songs. Like they're the heart and the lungs of the project.
Okay,
So
I understand. I understand now, because basically I was thinking maybe a family member might be in some sort of medical difficulty, if you know what I mean.
I actually do have asthma, so that maybe some of it came from that, but that's they're the soul of the project in a lot of ways. They really allow me to get in there and share what I want to share, and that they're the team for me. They're my boys, so yeah.
Very, very cool. And believe me, my bro, I'm quite familiar with the nebulizer as well. I got asthma as well, so. And I defy the odds, much like yourself, having a good old stogie right now. I'm very jealous about the stogie. I would love one myself. That's something to behold. It really, really is. I'm loving that. But now at the same time, my friend, I got to ask you this. And how did you put the band together? Because you brought out Baby Blue in October 2020. How did you meet the band?
So I've known Zachary and Maloki and Nick Cousins for quite a while. I met them, probably about 10 years ago, back when we were all in the Kitchener, Waterloo, which are some smaller cities near Toronto. And we used to play music back then, and we just kind of went our own way just for a while, but we somehow just managed to kind of find each other back in Toronto, musically at least. And then I met Brent Curvin in Toronto. He's just a phenomenal bass player. Through another friend, I went to see a gig, and he was playing, and I just said, "Man, you sound amazing. Like, you're awesome. Do you want to come start playing a couple of tracks with me?" And he and I just really hit it off, and from there he just became part of it as well. So that's how I met all these guys. They're just good friends. We're all buddies. We all hang out. The music's important to us, but we're also just good friends. So
Very, very cool. Now, as I was saying, being an engineer myself, I break down music in its increments. Unfortunately, not like the most average fan who just takes it at face value. I start diagnosing stuff, if you know what I mean. Just a trait, a family trait that I have in the business, you know what I mean?
yeah, for sure.
But I really couldn't fault you one bit on Baby Blue. And as I said to you, the very first song that I heard of yours was Blood Ties. That one, hands down, right now, is making a killing on the breakfast show, and I can't get through the breakfast show without actually playing it, to be honest with you. Now, the breakfast show is primarily made up of requests. How many requests have come in over the last day or so is where things get structured in the show. So, to make it into the breakfast show alone is quite phenomenal, because believe me, you've got the big numbers coming up as well, you know what I mean? But since we started playing, and I mean, we really didn't tell anybody about it, we just played Blood Ties one day, blew up our internet. Everybody wanted to know who, what, when, where, and how this came about. So we decided, okay, let's give it a few more revs and see what happens, and it continued to do it and do it and do it until the point where we said, okay, we're going to put this into the sneakies, because we knew now that you were coming along for an interview. I got to let you know right now, we're way up around about 1,977 requests since we've started playing it.
Oh wow, holy! I did not know that. That's great to hear.
It is fantastic, and it's still climbing. Believe me, my friend, it is taking a lot of attention. Now, I want to know the skinny, my friend. You tell me about Blood Ties, and we will talk about the video very, very shortly, but I want to know about the lyrics in it. How did you come to this? Because this is a work of art.
Well, I appreciate that, Grant. Yeah, so this song, again, is fairly personal. I don't want to get too detailed on it today, but it's basically, the long and short is basically a very, very close relationship just gone horribly wrong, to a point where it's about learning to cut the tie and how to move on from something that is actually kind of scary and overwhelming in your life, and just getting out of it and finding a way to move past the anxiety and the fear. And that's basically it. Yeah.
I get it. I really, really do. Now tell me about Dropout Entertainment. This sounds interesting.
Yeah, no. So they're a great group there. We reached out to them and decided to premiere Blood Ties video with them. They're really focusing on Canadian music, and I got along really well with them, and we decided to drop the video together. And yeah, no, if you check them out there, they've got all kinds of great artists on there. They're releasing all kinds of country artists and folk artists, and they do everything, and as long as it's Canadian. And it was a pleasure to work with them, and they really helped us kind of push that video out a bit more.
Now, you made the video here with a guy called Tyler Stevenson. Tell me a little bit about Tyler, because I'm fascinated how you managed to get this work of art filmed in one take.
Yeah. So Tyler, it's a pleasure knowing him. He's an artist. He's a video artist. He's a photographer as well. And what you don't realize from that video is there's no platform that's moving on wheels or anything like that. This guy, these are live railway tracks that we filmed it on, and he's walking backwards, crouched down the whole time. That's steady. And it's just, I got to give it out to him and have a huge shout out to TJ there. I think he might be tuned in. I'm not sure, but thank you, TJ. And he's that was a tough shoot for him, and he just pulled it off. So. That was all him. He crushed it.
Well, I didn't get to see the video for a few days afterwards. In fact, only a few days ago, to be honest. Barbara presented it to me. Absolutely fantastic. I loved it. And Tyler Stevenson, you did well, my friend. You did well. Keep up the good work. And, well, hopefully, just hopefully, Gregory Childs will keep you on doing all your videos.
Oh, yeah. We're going to be doing a video with Baby Blue, hopefully when COVID stuff gets maybe a little less crazy here. So we're going to use TJ for that as well. So
very cool. Yeah. So without further delay, and believe me, I'm really, really happy to do this right here at Galaxy 107 FM is Gregory Childs live with the band Heartlung and Blood Ties. How you feeling, Greg? You okay?
Yeah, I know. It's honestly, it's great to meet you guys. Like, I really appreciate you guys repping our music and exploring. Like, I can tell you guys are music lovers, and it's just great to chat with you.
Oh, believe me, bro, the honour is all mine. It really, really is. I love your work, and I've got to ask you, will you come back again and release more new stuff with us in the future?
100%. Yeah, I'd love to.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
We're all about the music. We're all about how the music's structured, who wrote the music, the artists themselves, everything that goes into it. You know what I mean? And yeah. I don't call our people who watch us fans or anything like that or listen. I actually call them our audio audience simply because they are an audience, and I like to keep the audience not only entertained but informed of what's going on. And with bands, cutting edge bands like yourself. I got to ask you, have you ever been signed?
No, we haven't. The EP that you guys are playing, just Baby Blue and Blood Ties, that's our debut.
Okay.
So that just came out in October. So no, we've just been playing independently around Toronto right now, and we're open to anything. We just want to keep playing. Like, our whole thing is live shows, so COVID's really sucked for us because we just love playing live.
Believe me, I get that, bro. Believe me. Barbara is the manager of an entertainment company that brings bands into the country and tours them up and down the country and also Australia. No work there for about a year, just over a year right now. So
man, yeah, it's tough, yeah.
It's pitiful, it is. And we're hanging. We are so hanging to get back to work, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, I totally hear you.
It's just one of these things. And at the same time, you see, bro, I've been an engineer for almost 40 years. I've worked with some of the best bands in the world. I've got to be honest with you, I really have. I've been very privileged. And it's not often that I find a band that I get this fascinated with.
I appreciate that. Thanks, Grant.
I'm being straight up with you. I love your style. I love your work. I love what you're producing. And I can see a career for you guys coming up in the future.
Cheers to you. I appreciate that, Grant. Thanks, man.
Well, that's being straight up and honest. It really is. And believe me, bro, I've worked with some of the biggest bands in the world. Literally, we did. I used to be a concert engineer, where all the promoters would give me a call and say, "Hey, listen, we need an engineer. Do you want to do the job?" You know what I'm saying? And I've got some of the best bands. David Bowie, for instance, the Glass Spider Tour, ZZ Top. Barbara actually went to the same concert. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I have an idea of music, and I have an idea of a band and how to mic them up, how to mix them, how to interpret what they're trying to achieve.
Too expensive.
And as I say to you, it's not often that I find a band that fascinates me like this.
I know. I appreciate that, Grant. Like, so you spent some time in the States as well. I heard you on another interview talking about Nashville.
Oh yeah. Very. I got to be honest. I got introduced to moonshine.
Yeah, I remember you saying tore up from the floor up.
Yes. Let's go back to the desk. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, 25 away from lunchtime, 12 o'clock noon, 26 degrees downtown. It's muggy, it's hot, and Barbara wins again. Gonna have to put 50 cents in the swear jar later on, I'm pretty sure of it, because I'm sick of losing to Barbara. I taught her how to do it too, by the way. Thursday, March the 11th, and I'm so happy to have everybody joining us on Facebook Live this morning. And I'm joined by Gregory Childs, coming from the band Heartlung. Love that name, I really, really do. Maybe I might need one myself later down the track. You never know. Now, Greg, I want to talk to you about vinyl and why vinyl, and especially why 45-inch vinyl.
Yeah, so I've always, as a kid, I was around a lot of vinyl because my mom, she grew up in Windsor, which is, again, it's a couple hours away from Toronto. It's an Ontario city, just across the border from Detroit there. So my mom and dad really influenced by like the Motown and all the vinyl ripping around, you know, back in the 70s. And my mom actually worked at a record shop back then. And I remember I was a young teenager, maybe like 13, 14, and my mom said, "Hey, you know what, you can just have my vinyl, like go check the closet out." And I went in there, and it was just full of all kinds of stuff. And a lot of it was my dad's, a lot of it was my mom's, and just started like running the vinyl in my room, and just really connected with some awesome bands. Like I got into all kinds of stuff back then. Jethro Tull was a big influence on me for a while, and like listening to a lot of like early Rod Stewart, like Never a Dull Moment, Rod Stewart kind of stuff. And so I just always wanted to do something on vinyl, and vinyl's kind of made a pretty big comeback around the world. It's also in Toronto. It's a pretty key thing to have vinyl. And, Heartlung, we've got a bunch of songs, but we just wanted to get something out the door. So we said, let's do a 45, do like an A and B side, kind of like old school Beatles days. Let's get something out there. And, we just said, let's do it.
I love that. I really, really do. And I got to be honest with you, going back in the day, doing nightclub DJing and stuff like that, you had more control over the vinyl. You can control the speeds, the takeoff, everything like that, especially on your Technics. I don't know. Do they still make Technics these days? Maybe they do. I don't know. But believe me, compared to today's instant starty up thing, it's rather hard to control it sometimes. You never know. And computers do tend to have a mind of their own. Well, actually, mine do anyway. I've got to be honest with you. They never want to do what I want them to do. But in the meantime, I got to ask you, my friend, it is a surreal time right now with this COVID virus, but I don't see that we're going to be going through this forever and a day. Hopefully one day, very, very shortly, we're going to be able to get people coming back into the country, doing concerts up and down the country and other different resources that we have. So I'm just wondering, would you be interested in coming to New Zealand and playing in front of New Zealand audiences in the future?
100%. We'd love to do that. It'd be amazing. I've never been to New Zealand. I know my mom spent some time there. I would love to come and spend some time there doing some shows for sure.
Well, I got to let you know, Greg, I think the locals here in New Zealand would just eat you up, to be honest with you. They would be very fascinated, especially as much as I am, literally. I think it would be very, very cool to have you here playing in front of New Zealand audiences. I've got to be honest, we also like to get a few Kiwi artists on stage as well. So we'll...
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I think maybe about 4 or 5 shows here in New Zealand, maybe about 8 shows in Australia, only because we like their money.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Exactly.
Set it up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Got to say hi to Dwayne Watson. He was the guy we were doing an interview with prior to you. He's joined us right now. And nice to have Dwayne joining us. Thank you, brother man, for your interview earlier on. And looking forward to meeting up with you again in the near future. Good friend of Galaxies. And Marion Pedersen is joining us as well. Nice to have you along, Marion. And, Greg Childs, absolutely stunning artist. Love his work. If you get a chance, go and check him out on the interwebby wherever you can. Of course, he is on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. He does reply. He shouldn't have said that. Because now, Greg, you're going to get about 5,000 more Instagram and Facebook fans. You'll be there all day doing this. You really, really will. Now, Greg, I personally am very, very honoured to for the... Let me put it this way. It's not often that we haven't actually met a star yet, and he turns around and says, how would you like to do a premiere for me? So... right now, I want to talk to you about Red Mud River because, believe me, I haven't heard this yet. I'm chomping at the bit to get this one done. Tell me all about it.
Yeah, so this is a track. I used to play in a band about 10 years ago called Wilmot Red. We were kind of like a weird folk band. And I played back then with my friend Bill Roger, Dan Regula, and Saroja Pornambolam, and we would kind of play around Toronto at a bunch of local venues. This is a track that I wrote with them back then, and we all composed it together and wrote it. And it's I just thought it would really suit the Heartlung project. It kind of fit the vibe. So I said to the Heartlung guys, let's just record this and try it out. And what we wanted to do is, it's not ready yet. It's not coming out till this fall, but we wanted to get a premix out today, just to premiere like a premix with you guys and to kind of get some buzz around it and to share it with you. So I'm glad to have it on the program today. Well,
I got to be honest with you, Greg. I am so looking forward to this. You don't know how much I'm looking forward to this. I really, really am. And 74 countries around the world and 109 cities are joining us right now. Thank you for tuning in the Galaxy. By the way, Z says, let's book those tickets. Here is Gregory Childs in Heartlung with Red Mud River.
We'll have to listen to it. We'll have to listen to it, Grant.
Yeah, we will. Z's saying, come on, let's book those tickets, Greg.
Yeah, honestly, when things calm down, I'd love to get out there and play a show. That'd be awesome.
We would love to have you, Greg. We really would. And I know Barbara is chomping at the bit to have you guys down here in New Zealand. But I got to warn you though, my friend, we're a little crazy down here in New Zealand.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, we are so... Bro, if you have ever watched any of my shows, you'll know that I'm up for a bit of shenanigans, right?
Oh, Grant, I got to tell you, when you were interviewing, I don't recall her name off the bat, but when you were talking about your Nashville moonshine stories, I was just laughing so hard because, and I think I was messaging you guys during that program because it was just so funny. All credit to her. I think she just didn't know how to fully respond because you were just not telling your story. It was just hilarious, but I was just laughing so hard.
Oh, believe me, bro, it's all true too. It really is all true. But I got to ask you, have you ever tried vegan sausages?
Yes.
Have you? Are they made of real vegans?
Yeah. Just their feet. That's it.
Because there's another one I've been curious about too. I've got to be honest, this one really does confuse my mind. You get two vegans having a fight, right? Is it still called a beef?
I think it is. I think it's called vegan beef. So.
You wouldn't want to get slapped in the chops then, would you? Oh my God. We're bringing out a plate of chops today. We are.
Nice.
Yeah. I was talking, are you religious?
Not technically, not in the typical classical way.
Okay, because
yeah.
I was talking to a pastor the other day, and he says to me, Grant, you do realise that Moses was the first person in the world to have the internet? And I went, how do you figure that one out? And he goes, well, let's be honest, you have to get up high to get a good reception, right? I went, yeah, okay, I get that. And he says, he had to download from the cloud. I went, yeah, I get that. And he goes, well, what did he download onto? Of course, his tablet, right?
That's where the Ten Commandments came from.
Well, I says to him in return, you remember Jesus in the Last Supper? And he goes, yes. And I says, do you remember him saying to all of his apostles and everybody, come on, hurry up, drink up, let's have some fun, because tomorrow Judas is taking me to see 9 Inch Nails? Oh, that's bad. That's bad. I am so going to hear about it from people.
It's fine.
Let's go back to the video. That's right, you're right here at Galaxy 107 FM, and I'm joined live, coming out of Toronto, by Gregory Childs and the band Heartlung. Loving Red Mud River. I really, really am. Looking forward to anything new coming in the future, and he has said to me he will come back for another interview. Kind of figuring out whether he's sadistic or not. We'll figure that one out as we go. But Greg, it has been an absolute pleasure meeting you, my friend. I would love it if you would come back again and release some new stuff with us. Would you think about that in the future?
Oh yeah, 100%. Love to come back and hang out with you guys.
Nice. Now, at the same time, knowing that you're pressing, knowing that you're going to be putting out an EP, just wondering if you'll send us a couple that we could do a competition and give some away to keep Gregory Childs and Heartlung playing here at Galaxy.
Yeah, no, I brought one out just for the interview here. So here's the this is the EP here. Basically, I'd love to send you guys 10 or something, and just you guys can give them out to whoever, or keep them for yourself, or friends, or family, or whatever you want to do. I'll send you 10 across the pond there, and you guys do what you want with them.
Absolutely brilliant. We would prefer to give them, if you can give them a few signatures on them as well, believe me, that would be fantastic. But we would love to do a competition to keep your name rolling here at Galaxy. We really, really would. Now, having said that, at the same time, if you've got any merch that you want to pass our way, we would love to be able to, for instance, put on a t-shirt. Today, I've got my good bros on, actually. I really, really do.
Stone.
Yeah.
Hey, I gotta tell you, Grant. Last night we had a practice. I had a practice with the boys, and we threw on that moonshine video that the band, the Moonshine video, and it was awesome. We loved that. It was great.
Well, I tell you what.
You know the track I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I really do. And believe me, bro, I'm kind of partial to a bit of moonshine. I've got to be honest. Have you ever seen the internet TV series Moonshiners?
No, I haven't. No,
I recommend it. I really, really do. Go
heard
and,
about it.
yeah, go and have a look on the interwebby thing, and just type in Moonshiners. It'll come up with it. A couple of those good old boys there are actually friends of ours.
Oh, right on. Cool.
And having said that too, we actually lost one not so long ago, just last week. Too young.
Oh, sorry to hear.
Passed away. Yeah, way too young fella too. Had a heart condition. So I feel sorry there, and our condolences to the immediate family, really.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Nice to have Z on board, nice to have Dwayne Watson on board as well, and also very, very nice to have Marion Pedersen
And
as well.
Gear's on too.
I'm sorry?
Gear's watching too. Or
Dee's
hasn't-
watching?
Gear.
Gears
But he
watching.
hasn't said it-
Gears
he hasn't
watching.
said
Okay. Our Viking brother from Norway is on board as well, Geir Miranda. Now, he's the manager of a band called Viking Queen coming out of Norway. I introduced him to another band coming out of Canada called The Mighty One, Tim Steinruck. And, well, we had them on a couple of years ago, actually, on a New Year's Eve gig. And you're going to love this, Greg. You really, really are. And through the evening, of course, we're all drinking, having a good time as we're getting ready to bust into a brand spanking new year. And somewhere along the way, I mentioned to both of these bands, I said, do you remember the Charleston? You know, it had a dance, but it had its own music to it. And they both went, yeah, I remember that. And I says, okay, 100 years this year, it was Top of the Pops. I said, now think about this. You guys are heavy metal bands. Get together, make a compilation between the two of you, and use the Charleston as a hook. You're not going to get into trouble. It's 100 years old. Come on. You know what I mean? 6 hours later, and believe me, I'd finished the show. I'd gone home and was having a quiet sleep and then came back to work. These guys are still talking and still going. But having said that, one of them actually was asleep and the other one, Gay Miranda, is going, Tim, wake up. You know, on the internet, woke up and they says, you know, we can't do what Grant's challenging us to do. It's just not within us, but maybe we could get together and do a Christmas song. I got to be honest with you, these guys kicked it out of the park. I'll get Barbara to send you a copy of it. Have a look at it.
Yeah, I want to hear that. I want to hear that.
Fantastic. So since then, I have been challenging every band that I come up to interview. If you're writing new music, here is the challenge. And I mean this for every band in the world. I'm going to give you the classic Grant Galaxy Challenge. Use the Charleston as a hook and get it to me. Let's see how good you can do. Do you think you're up for the challenge, Greg?
I think so. I think so. It might not be heavy metal, but we'll see. Maybe we can pull something out of it.
It doesn't have to be heavy metal, my friend. It really doesn't. Stay within your own comfort zone. That is where you're good. And believe me, my friend, I think you're good. I really do. Now, while we have you here, would you mind if I introduce you to a few friends of ours here at Galaxy? It's about getting Gregory Childs out there on different platforms. Would you mind if we introduce you to a few people?
No, for sure. I'd love to meet him.
Nice, because I do have a man in mind coming out of Germany. His name is Jorg. He has a TV podcast kind of show that he does once a month. And believe me, I'd love to be able to get you on that because he is followed by everybody over that side of the world. He really, really is. And in fact, this time round, he's got Steve Lynch, lead guitarist for the band Autograph. You remember Autograph back in the day?
I saw you guys posting some stuff about them. I remember he's been on your program a couple times, right?
Yeah, absolute legend.
Yeah.
He is a legend. He really, really is. He's going to be on the show. Of course, Gay Miranda and Viking Queen's going to be on it. Mighty One's going to be on it. We're going to be on it, which is rather weird. You know, don't know whether anybody's going to watch knowing that we're going to be on it now, which is, you know...
I'll watch. I'll tune in.
Awesome, awesome. Plus, at the same time, I do have a friend of mine coming out of India. Now, where he lives is about 8 million people, and he has a huge, huge share of that in his magazine, Lazy Indie Magazine. Now, I'd love to be able to get you in there as well. It's all about promoting Gregory Childs and Heartlung. because we're that fascinated with you. We want to be able to see if we can push you up the level just that much more. What do you reckon?
I'm into it, Grant. Let's do it.
Awesome. Now keep an eye out for Barbara. She'll introduce you to these guys, set up little group talky things, if you know what I mean, and get the ball rolling, because believe me, my friend, I can see that you guys are ready and about to break it into the next level, and we want to be a part of that.
I appreciate that, Grant. It's been great hanging out with you guys today. Thanks for playing our stuff and giving me a chance to come on and talk about it a little bit.
Well, it's been my pleasure as well. It has been an absolute honour to be able to release to the world Red Mud River. Absolutely fascinating. We're going to have another listen to that very, very shortly. Add it to my playlist in my car, because that's where all the good music is really played. I've got to be honest with you. I only listen to good music in that. And the reason I got to be honest with you, Greg, is nobody else can influence me on whether or not I want to do the interview. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
The other reason too is nobody wants to drive with me. It's true.
Hey, look, I'd want to drive with you if that's anything. Let's drive together when I come down there. We'll go for a spin, listen to a couple of tunes.
So you don't think going sideways weird then?
No, it's all good. We can go sideways as much as you want.
I love
I just want to give a quick shout out, Grant, if that's cool. I want to shout out as well to like all my friends and family and other people that have tuned in. And I also want to give a shout out, because I didn't mention her in the process. Erin Cousins has done a great job in helping us like mix these tracks, and she's done all the overdubs for us. So yeah, and just thanks to all those people, and appreciate everybody working on the project.
You know, I absolutely love that, my friend, and would love to have you back again in the near future. Also, we want to have you play here in New Zealand. We do want to have you play in Australia as well, and we want to do some funky things while you're down here. We'll introduce you to some really, really crazy stuff. Just before we go, have you ever heard of a hoo-hoo grub?
A hoo-hoo grub? No.
Okay, well, this is something here that we do here in New Zealand that's rather traditional. It is, especially for Aurora Entertainment. The indigenous folks of New Zealand is called the Maori. And there they have a delicacy called the hoo-hoo grub. Now, you're familiar with a caterpillar, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this is like a caterpillar on steroids. It's like a double-decker bus to a mini. It's big, it's white, it's got a black head. And what you do is you put the live body in your mouth and rip off the head. Don't eat the head, it's yucky. But when you crunch down on this, it's like eating creamy peanut butter.
Ooh, sounds good.
Yeah, it is. Now, a lot of people sort of go, oh my gosh. You got to wonder about the mentality of the person handing you a bowl of these white wiggly things expecting you to eat one. Don't worry about that, it's me. There's no mentality there at all.
I'll eat one. I'll eat a couple of them. Let's do it.
Nice, I like it. Have you ever had the white worm deal? You know, the tequila with the worm in the bottom?
You know what? No, I know of it. I've never actually been fortunate enough to enjoy a tequila worm, though.
Well,
maybe one day.
I tell you what, do some practice. Go and get yourself a couple of bottles of that. Get ready for it, because down here in New Zealand, yes, there will be alcohol involved, but believe me, there'll be a bit of that. Most people will try to figure out how they're going to do it while they're having alcohol, you know what I mean?
As long as we can eat the worms, then I'm cool. We'll just eat those worms.
You'll love them. You will. And believe me, it's a mind thing. You've got to challenge yourself at least once a day in something that might get the heart going to keep you knowing that you're alive. You know what I mean? Not enough of that going on in the world right now. Anyway, my friend, I'm going to have to wrap it up here, but please don't go anywhere just yet. We will continue on after this. But I will switch over to the other studio. Here's Nazareth and Love Hurts right here at Galaxy.